All right, so in this article, we're going to be talking about Talkspace's providers, the therapists, their salary, how much do they make. We're going to be going through a variety of resources. I'm just going to be going through these, kind of reading through the Talkspace help articles as well as from Indeed, Counseling Wise, Therapy Aid, other sources. So let's just dive into things. This sentence in particular stands out to me. Based on my experience, I did find several providers with 20 plus years of post supervision experience, 20 years of career experience. However, I also found therapists and counselors with only 1 year of training. So this is variable. They have an average of 7 to 10 years. So we're just going to keep moving through these. So before we get to the income, let's keep on looking at the Talkspace provider guidelines. We're going to have all these links down below, but you can see a couple different options. You can become a full-time Talkspace network clinician where you submit your application, and we'll be taking a look at these. You can also become a contractor where you submit your application here. The provider application process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. Their team reviews the submission of key data, and if it's verified, then their team will then make a decision. So there are two types of providers at Talkspace. Once you're verified and your application is accepted, you'll be invited to join the team. So full-time providers have a required 3-day required training program and an optional 3-day training course. The contractor, you have a few getting started course, but overall it's easier to manage. If you have a question, you can email training@talkspace.com. So that's for therapists. That's good to know. So now we're going to click through these links to be a full-time clinician or to be a contractor. So we're going to follow these links. One is to become a Talkspace network clinician. Leads to, it's forwarded to Talkspace.com careers. Looks like there's a thing for open roles. Let's take a look. Down here, they have options if you want to be a VP on the C-suite, or if you're looking to be a full-time therapist in a variety of different states. They also have part-time therapists, which is another great option if you're maybe a little more new in your career. So they have a variety of jobs that they're looking for, from data scientists. They also have a general application for clinical and corporate. So the Talkspace team is hiring. Let's let's take a look at the full-time therapist role. So on this page down here, they do list what you'll do as a W-2 therapist, from working remotely to knowing your diagnosis for mental disorders, have at least 30 hours a week, engage with clients in a timely manner. Usually that refers to being available through text 1 time a day for 5 times a week. So about the W-2 therapist requirements, you must have a license to practice independently without supervision. They note that unlicensed or licensed pending professionals do not qualify as associate or conditionally licensed. You must have insurance, willingness to purchase. And then here's how you apply to the job. You can apply through LinkedIn. Here are the questions. I'm just scrolling through here. But pretty generic questions for a resume. Again, the link will be down below. Okay, so that was to become a full-time Talkspace network clinician. Now let's take a look at if you are just looking to become a contractor. First of all, you can join as a therapist. You'll note that Talkspace claims to have increased their provider pay by 20% and that you'll be reimbursed $67.90 per hour for live sessions. Again, here are the requirements they list for all therapists to have one of these degrees. As a Talkspace contractor, you can expect to earn, if you're just working 5 hours per week, around $14,577 per year. And it goes up to, if you're working the standard 40 hours a week, your projected annual earnings would be 116,619. Let's look now if you want to join as a prescriber. To be a subscriber, you must have your MD, nurse practitioner, completed residency, So, based on the Talkspace contractor projected earnings, it appears that there are no differences between the associate therapist application and the therapist application for contractors. It's the same. So, that covers the Talkspace provider side of things, how to become a provider, some information about how much they're paid. But what we should do now is take a look at these other review sites and see if the information at Talkspace is valid, and if it's missing anything, what is it missing? So if we look at Indeed.com, it appears that the 67.90 per hour holds up. And it's important to note that for a clinician, it appears, and mental health technician, around 60,000. And if we look at the base rate, 60,000 would be a little bit more than 20 hours per week. So it appears that most people on Talkspace are averaging about 20 hours a week. Here are a bunch of salaries listed based on one salary reported, ranging from clinician, mental health technician, business development manager. Do people feel that they are paid fairly for their work at Talkspace? 16% said they agreed they are paid fairly. 41 employees were asked about number of sick days and resetting sick days. 25% 25% of respondents said they did. On Indeed.com, the reviews are also notably 2.5 out of 131 reviews. You might be interested in reading them as well. The link will be below. Now, if you go to Glassdoor, you can see that now if you go to Glassdoor, you can see that Talkspace Salary's 8 employees are saying they make on average $19 an hour. And I think this is interesting because even back on Indeed.com, it says the average Talkspace hourly range is says the average Talkspace hourly pay ranges from $7.25 per hour from family therapist. And this information comes from 238 data points collected directly from employees, users, and past and present job advertisements. So it appears that people are paid around 67.90 for the therapist role, but you might have a different role if you work for Talkspace in another fashion. Okay, so we hope you've enjoyed this little video about how to start working for Talkspace, the availabilities, some pricing information. We hope you enjoyed sort of the looking at what they make and the self-reporting. If you've enjoyed it so far, it'd be great to subscribe to the channel and be sure to leave a comment below with your favorite review or your favorite company that you want me to review. Okay, thanks again. Peace.